Welcome to the Unmanufactured Show. This is actually episode 1. I am not the host. I am the producer, Jeff Evans, but with me is the actual host, Parker Hendricks. How are we doing, Parker?
I'm killing it. Looking forward to this. This is going to be fun.
Absolutely. So we wanted to bring the first episode because before we have guests on the show, we wanted to kind of go through exactly why this show exists and what people can look forward to in it. So why don't you tell me kind of where this whole show idea came from?
Yeah. So what I do day to day is build software for manufacturers. So a lot of interfacing, a lot of networking, a lot of visiting shops. And what I noticed going shop to shop, site to site, from small manufacturer to mid-market to large manufacturer site, they all had similar problems, and they could have been fixed with just a little bit of communication. There are some outlets for that, but not every manufacturer has the time to go leave the operation, the shop floor, whoever's in charge, whatever their situation is. They oftentimes don't feel comfortable enough to leave and go listen or go chat about what's going on. So this is kind of a platform for that, and we hope to have guests on who can share insights about what's going on, not only in the market, like things, small things, leadership problems, workforce problems, platform problems, anything that they're dealing with. So the universe, the interwebs, can all have this consortium and glean the facts that they need to maybe be more efficient.
You named the show the Unmanufactured Show. What does that actually mean to you?
Unmanufactured, super important. So manufacturers as a group, and I think they'd all appreciate this, are very authentic, no frills. They like things clean. They like things straight. They don't like a lot of fluff. I want this to be as authentic as humanly possible for the benefit of the guest, a manufacturer, and all the people that would potentially watch it, because everybody needs a real deal sense for what's going on. So this is going to be kind of loose, and that's by design, because I think people are more comfortable if it's conversational, if they don't have to prepare. I don't want anybody nervous. I want this to be like you're sitting on the back porch with your granddad talking about life on a Sunday morning. You know, I want it to be that kind of vibe, an environment where they will feel comfortable sharing these details and what they're dealing with every day, in a language that's plain speak. You know, how they talk to their plant managers, the guy that's running the C machine, you know, anybody and everybody. I want it to be language that everybody understands.
Yeah. So who are we really trying to reach with the show?
I think anybody who either, and this is kind of interesting here, I'm going to throw a little bit of a curveball.
Okay.
Obviously manufacturers and anybody that's in the facility, right? Because they're going to benefit from it. Something that's ultra important to me, and the timing couldn't be better, is the growing workforce, because there's a lot of people who have for generations not considered manufacturing as a possibility for a career. And I want them to be able to see manufacturers speak, again, in that normal, natural language, to these young people, to say, hey, manufacturing is not the 1950s where you're not making any money, you don't have any skills. You're in a dead-end job. Like, I want them to see what is actually happening in manufacturing, because in all honesty, some of the greatest, newest technology is being implemented in these shops, and it's a great place to work. These guys are leaving the shop as clean as they walked in certain cases, and they're providing for their families. It's a great life and a great career. So this is going to be also a platform for those people.
I think that's great. You know, being able to kind of see behind the curtain, bring to a population of people that don't really get to see what goes on in those buildings out into the forefront, hear from plant managers, from owners, people like that. I think that's great. Let's kind of move ahead and kind of change the topic a little bit, because I want to hear from your side of your education and your point of view. So what do you see as a manufacturing business owner? What are some of the biggest kind of roadblocks or problems they're facing in either like running their business or their sales process?
Yeah, so we could spend an hour talking about the biggest challenges, because they are as varied as the number of shops in the country.
Right.
You have tariff issues that are constantly changing. We never know what's going on. Supply chain breakdowns, supply chain developments, trying to keep everybody abreast of what's available currently. You have the new technology. Everybody's trying to figure out, is it time to modernize? Is it time to go through that digital transformation, or are we okay right now?
Yeah.
And then there's a huge and swelling and impending workforce problem. I mean, you have 25% of your skilled labor in manufacturing. They're going to retire in 10 years. We got 600,000 unfilled manufacturing jobs in America
Wow.
right now.
Wow.
So if you think about that unemployment, that unfilled job number is only growing. They say in 2027 it's going to hit 1.3 million. And 10 years from now, if that number keeps growing, I mean, we're doing all this onshoring, and I think we're building a launch pad for disaster if we don't change the perception of manufacturing to the nation. So all those things, just in general,
Yeah.
tariffs and the world coming to all kinds of ends,
Yeah.
wars, trying to figure out where to get your raw materials, battling with China over pricing for e-commerce and making your place, and trying to figure out if your investment in the future of your manufacturing facility is going to outlast some of these foreign actors' ability to play that long game and that low price game.
Okay. I think you bring up a really great point, and that is that's a staggering number of unfulfilled jobs. But I will say that, from my side and the amount of AI that I work with and research and pay attention to, AI in general is disrupting a lot of professions. And as kids go through college now, a lot of them are being steered away from certain professions because it's almost obsolete at this point, right?
Yeah.
And so, or the colleges are going to have to really revamp into what their majors are and what they're actually doing. But they're so large and archaic that it's not going to happen anytime soon. So I think that actually benefits the manufacturing side of things, because there's going to be so many people that need jobs. They're going to need to pivot in careers. And a show like this is going to bring that kind of awareness to people like that out there that are on what this will be on YouTube. This will be on Spotify. This will be on iHeartRadio and Apple, of course.
Awesome.
Right. So all the major platforms, plus all of these little clips that we're going to, clip from this that will go on all the social platforms that you guys have and all of that. So, we're going to do our part, and I'm going to do my part as producer to make sure that this content really does get seen by as many people as possible to really, bring awareness to this.
Yeah.
Because you have to. I mean, that is kind of the rallying cry, if you ask me. 600,000 unfulfilled jobs in manufacturing in the U.S. alone.
In the U.S. alone, yeah.
Man.
And that number was probably as of February or March, but we could put it in the notes. But it's a current number, and it's growing, and it has no signs of slowing down.
Mm-hmm.
So the AI is going to have a huge impact on things, and to the positive, to your point, because in my opinion, it makes a lot of these jobs more. It makes them cooler, right? You're dealing with technology that's amazing, and you're able to be better at your job. AI should make it more efficient, more safe, and it should make it easier to be in that career longer. I mean, it's not the back-breaking work anymore. When you've got stacking machines, you've got huge robots doing all the heavy lifting for you, and you're in there programming CNC and looking for your thresholds, making sure everything's absolutely perfect. I mean, those are the jobs that humans should be doing anyways.
Yeah.
Not lifting crates across the shop. So it is a better place to work. And it has been, in all fairness, for a while now, but we don't have the help of guidance counselors and college admissions doing us any favors. I didn't hear about trade school. I didn't hear about manufacturing. I had two options in my guidance counselor's office. It was go to college or go to college. And that was it. And when I went home, this is crazy. My dad is an electrician. My stepmom has been in the HVAC business her entire life in the office. They said the same thing. They didn't know any better. They thought they were doing right by me. They wanted a better life for me. But the funny thing is, I graduated college. I've been fairly successful. A lot of my friends still don't make as much money as my dad does as an electrician.
Mm-hmm.
and half of them are looking for jobs. I mean, it doesn't make sense, but this is where we are. So
It is where we are. And the home service industry in and of itself is a wildly lucrative industry if you are a business owner, of course.
yeah,
But you always need to start off, be an apprentice, learn all of the tasks and all of the processes and services, and then go start your own business. You know,
Yeah.
I certainly have friends and acquaintances and networking groups as you do as well.
absolutely.
Shout out BNI, SCN, all these other networking groups that we've all been a part of over the years, and
Yeah.
a lot of them have done wildly well because of sticking to the home service industry. But they also had college degrees and went different paths before they figured it all out.
Yeah.
Because again, that's what our parents are boomers, right? And they always wanted us to go to college and get our degrees because that's what we were told to do. Period. That's
Yeah.
what they were told that we needed to do, and that was it. And I don't use my degree at all.
I was a theater major. I'm using it now.
You
right?
Yeah. Okay. Technically,
Kind of.
my major was communication, so I guess I'm kind of using it now as well,
Right.
but not really because that was 1997 communications, not 2026 communications. You know,
Right. Yeah. It's interesting the paths that we take. I mean, I don't discredit my college. I went to Young Harris College up in the North Georgia mountains.
Yeah.
Loved it. It was amazing. My theater program, amazing. I did Comedy Wild West show where I traveled the country. Got to go over to London and see a lot of the theater over there. I mean, I wouldn't discredit or discount those experiences at all.
Mhm.
But as far as an ROI on my college education, I don't know if that math makes sense. And again, if I would have known that I could be dealing with robots and some of the 3D modeling and stuff that these guys are doing and the DoD contracts that are so cool, I probably would have second guessed the theater major, especially with my dad's metal shop background.
Yeah, but I think the theater major is going to come in really handy for the show.
I hope so.
I think you're going to be a great host. You're going to have be able to really have great conversations with people and bring out the value. This isn't about just advertising a certain manufacturing company or owner.
Right.
This is about extracting their 20, 30, 40 years of manufacturing experience out of them in an educational platform so that others can learn from them. I think that's the best thing that we can do as a team for unmanufactured is to bring out the life lessons from these people.
They are there. They are there in droves. And each time I visit a site, I'm just blown away. I mean, we're sitting in front of a stack of books, and I've read almost all of them. And I learn something that is in none of these books every time I go to a manufacturing shop. And for that reason, this is important. And I hope I can do this topic justice and this platform justice and the industry of manufacturing justice. Because I do think it's incredibly important to the fabric of America, the strength of our economy, and just the health of our neighbors and friends. So
Yeah.
I'm very excited about the opportunity here.
Good. Well, let's talk about the guests of the show themselves.
Sure.
So who are you looking to actually interview for Unmanufactured?
Yeah, I would like to talk to people in all different, from all shop sizes, from all types. I mean, food and bev is really big here in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd love to talk to some food and bev people. I have a soft spot in my heart for metal fab and metal shops because that's what I grew up in. My dad had a metal shop out of Monroe, Georgia. So I've always seen welding and had a huge appreciation for bending metal to your will and strengthening it in turn. So I'd like to talk to a little bit of everybody, honestly, of all shapes and sizes, because the insights. And I'm a member of an actual manufacturing organization, which is awesome, Georgia Manufacturing Alliance, and I get little nuggets from those guys all the time. I just want the world to see more about what's happening in these shops to change the perception and help shops abroad, all over the country, I should say.
So when you do, just so people understand the process, we can do an online show where we actually do it virtually, but really you want to be traveling to the manufacturer's site and sitting down with them and bringing all of our gear and getting them on camera and really having a great conversation. So, when it comes down to it, I mean, this is literally, we're showing up at someone's office. So what do you believe they're going to really kind of get out of this? Because let's be honest, I mean, it's what's in it for me, right? So
Absolutely.
what's in it for them?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I have thought about this for so long, this specific topic. So, what is actually in it for them beyond the general exposure? Some manufacturing facilities might not have a sales department. They might be 30 years in the business, but only have a handful of clients, and it accounts for a majority of their business.
Wow.
But there are over 10,000 manufacturing shops just here in Georgia.
10,000.
Yeah, they can't
Wow.
talk to each other. They
No.
can't know everything about each other. So I'd like to have this in a library that's easy to sort, easy to find. Like, hey, if you're a Georgian, you happen on YouTube or Spotify, and you got a question about metal shops, and you just type that sucker in, and we have some content on there that could maybe help somebody.
Yeah, we'll set up playlists for YouTube, and so each individual playlist will be based on what part of the industries that they're actually in.
I love it.
So they'll be able to kind of dial in and be able to see all of that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So essentially, exposure, a resource, and an opportunity to talk about the cool things that they are doing. Because each shop I go to, I'm seeing something incredible at each one of them. Everybody knows all the different systems you're supposed to, your Six Sigma black belts and all that stuff. That continuous improvement, that Kaizen term, is something that they all take to heart. So everybody's continuously improving separately. So I think it'd be a great spot to have these guys talk about some of their proud moments. And really, that's only going to strengthen the true cause, which is to make manufacturing look cooler to the next generation, because it actually is.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. I love that. So let's walk through an actual like interview process. Like, what do you, just so that people are kind of understand like what that actually kind of will look like. So obviously from my point of view, I'm traveling with you as a producer. We're setting up all of the cameras. We're taking care of the microphones, all of the lights, all of that. We're sending questions that we could ask ahead of time, and really kind of dialing into their specific business. So everything's very specific about them. It's not just broad, stuff. It's actually like really getting into the heart of that. But besides that, kind of, what else do you think that you'll be kind of, asking them, or how is that process going to work?
Yeah. So I think it's going to start with a phone call, right? So we're going to have some channels that people can reach out to us. There will be a website. I think you're setting that up, the landing page. You can email me directly if they want to. And then we have a general conversation like, hey, what's going on in your shop floor, or what's the history of your shop? What do you want to talk about? And then from there, we'll work together, you and I, to craft something that's both entertaining and educational. I mean, I'm in manufacturing, in sales for a living. So I sell to manufacturers. That is not what this is. I want this to be informative and entertaining, because at the end of the day, we could have the most informative thing, but if it's boring as hell, nobody's going to see it, right?
I don't think your guests are going to be very boring. I think they've lived incredibly exciting lives.
But we're going to craft it to where it's absolutely entertaining to watch as well, and shows them in the best of light. Because sometimes you don't know what you might need to talk about, but again, that's hopefully what this unmanufactured solves, because people will have more topics to talk about. Hey, I did that 10 years ago. Hey, I went through that and I failed terribly. Here's what I did wrong, or here's what I did right, and here's who I used. That using a resource, because you don't always know who to pick up the phone and call. Like I said, there's 10,000 something manufacturers here in the state of Georgia. I'm sure we can find people who've done the right thing and the wrong thing several times over. We just want to be the place that people can go to find that.
So if someone's watching this show right now, what is the best way at this time to get a hold of you to try to become a guest on the show?
Best way to reach me right now is P. Hendricks, Parker Hendricks, P. Hendricks at radindynamics.com. That's RADIN dynamics.com. That is my work email until we get the landing page set up.
Yeah.
But we would love some initial inquiries. We'd love to set up a roster and get this show on the road, because like you said, we would love to go to your shop. That way, if there is in a case where you want to show us something and can show us something, again, I'm familiar with CMMC and a lot of the other things that are going on, so I know they can't always show us some of the cool stuff. But we'd love to be where they're comfortable. I think that is the main reason I want to go to their shop. People are just more comfortable in their own environment. So, yeah, email me there. That's how you'd get in touch with me.
Okay, great. Now, moving, let's kind of view the future here. So, we'll be Nostradamus currently, and look towards about a year from now. What do you see from the show in about a year?
In a year, I would love to have a schedule full of site visits and shoots where we have content just lined up. And I'd love to have an outlet for people to reach out and say, hey, can you do an episode on this? Do you know anybody who's had this problem? So just have kind of a box, what is it when you go to the corporate America, the suggestion box.
Oh, yes.
We'll have a little online suggestion box of
Yeah.
sorts. So if there are topics that people want, they can go there. But at the end of the day, if we can go to sites, if we can get this thing rolling big enough to have an impact on things like high schools and do visits and have an amalgamation, a truly well done amalgamation of actual manufacturers looking for their new workforce and actually providing an impact because the show is done well, I'll hang my hat up and sleep well at night.
Yeah. Okay. I could definitely see that. Yeah, that's a good point. I think that when we look towards that year point, we also want to look at, are there any kind of other third party vendors, people that work, adjacent to you guys and work with manufacturers that would also be helpful and educational and beneficial for manufacturers to watch as well, because this show isn't just for people looking. We're not just trying to find people that are looking for manufacturing jobs. We're educating just to have manufacturers learn from other manufacturers,
100%,
as well, and just kind of grow that community. Which leads me to my next question, which is the actual manufacturing alliance that you're a part of. Do you see that being an avenue where we would actually maybe create some content based off of that association as well?
I'd love that. And I think Jason would be happy to be on the show. Hopefully, Jason, you're watching this, and we'd love to have him on his book's right there.
Oh, yeah.
Great book, by the way. Free plug, Jason. But yeah, we'd love to have Jason on. He created the Georgia Manufacturing Alliance 18 years ago. It's a wonderful community. And I hope this only supplements it. So we'd love to have him on as a guest. And yeah, there are vendors to manufacturers. I have to be sensitive to it. I am one, right? We do software for manufacturing. But there are certain people that I'd like on as a portion of the show, but this is not a pitch show. I'm not trying to sell somebody. For instance, just the other day, I talked to the entire group about CMMC compliance, which is a government compliance that's coming up. Phase 2 is coming up November 10th, by the way. Get ready.
Mm-hmm.
That sort of thing. Mm-hmm. So big things that people need to know about. We can have C3 PAOs on to talk about compliance. We could have vendors to manufacturers who do any kind of automation. I know I've got a lot of friends in automation. Anything conveyance wise, insurance wise, tax credit wise. I know all these people. I'd love to have them on the show if it's important to the manufacturing community. But I almost want to do that with their permission, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because this is not a sales platform. I'm sure we'll have ads and stuff, but the point of the show is the exposure, is the manufacturer themselves.
Absolutely. All right. So I didn't tell you about this ahead of time, so we can really catch you off guard. But it's time for the speed round.
Okay.
We're going to get to know Parker a little bit better.
All right, let's do it.
Because we need to know Mr. Parker better. So, number one, name one famous person, alive or dead, that you would love to have dinner with, and where would you take them?
Fictional or non-fictional?
Non-fictional.
Non-fiction. All right, Dean Martin.
Excellent choice.
Copacabana, was that the joint in New York, I think?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or was that Florida? Anyways, I'd love to go anywhere with Dean Martin and have a drink at a bar and just pick his brain. I used to be a Dean Martin impersonator, so I used to sing his songs in college to kind of like some extra lunch money.
That is awesome.
Just led a crazy cool life. And love his music. So
all right, good. All right, what's the next one? Most recent book you read all the way through?
Most recent book I read all the way through, Plutarch's Parallel Lives.
What is that?
It's a really long book about, so Plutarch was basically an ancient historian, and he would take one person from ancient Greece and one person from ancient Rome and see, based on their symbiosis, like what the parallels were. Like sometimes they dealt with similar problems. So he'd pair them up and basically see who was best at dealing with certain problems.
How funny.
Very long book.
Yeah.
But yeah, before that, it was Project Hail Mary.
Okay.
Which was a great read. It was awesome.
All right. Top podcast.
Top podcast, How to Take Over the World.
Ooh.
Yeah, my absolute favorite. Ben Wilson, if you haven't checked that out, he, throughout my life, and he's been doing it for a few years. So whatever those few years were, I'm not going to quote the exact length or the history of it, but at least 3 or 4 years, I think. He has given me such great insights. He's a historical analyzer of leaders. So he'll look at Steve Jobs, or he'll look at any of these historical figures, and he'll just give you so many insights that relate to modern leadership, modern analysis, modern innovation of the mind. And it's just very, very insightful. He reads a lot of the books, like a lot of the bios and auto bios, so I don't have to, and gives you the cliff notes. And it's just really consumable when you're driving down to the Port of Savannah or checking out a shop in North Georgia.
Oh, yeah. And then last one, just personal. So wife, kids?
Yeah. So I've got a beautiful wife. We've been married. We've been together since 2016. I kept her on the hook for a long time, but we've been married 6 years now.
Awesome.
And I've got 2 daughters that are the absolute best part of my everyday. I've got a 5-year-old Hazel, and she's a future artist. And I have Dottie, who is my bruiser. She's a beautiful warrior in her own right. She's 4 years old, and they are incredible.
Awesome. I have a 9-year-old daughter who is also a bruiser.
Oh, yeah. It's good.
She is rough.
Yeah, it's the world we're moving into. It's good to know you got a girl with confidence.
Yeah, no man will mess. Well, if they do mess with her, she will kill them. I think.
You're right.
Seriously, she is brutal.
Yeah.
But and then a 15-year-old son, of course, he's a good kid. Plays baseball and all of that. So we're really looking forward to getting out on the road and interviewing a lot of business owners through the show. So is there anything else before we sign off that you want people to know?
Give this a shot. If you're a manufacturer out there and you've got something to say, this is a great place to say it. So, we'll make it easy for you. Jeff and I will do everything in our power to make it as easy as humanly possible.
Absolutely.
We'll do all the work and give you the spotlight that you deserve in the time that you have, because I know time is the most precious asset in any manufacturing operation. So we'll make it easy.
Absolutely. I mean, between setup, which should take no more than 30, takedown is less than 30, and then the interview itself goes usually from 30 to 45 minutes, and that's it. That's the only time they need, and then they'll have a lot of content they can use on their own platforms and be able to tell their story and help other manufacturers, because the more you help, the more you get. That's for sure.
I believe it all day long.
Law of reciprocity is a very real thing.
Absolutely is.
So, all right. Well, thanks for joining us on the Unmanufactured Show. Jeff, producer, Parker, the actual host, and we will see you on the next episode. Take care.
Thanks, guys.